Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen. I'm your host, Tina Marie, and today joining us is Chef Michael Solomonov.
High five.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks very much for having me.
We are thrilled to have you. You are a busy man. Best chef Mid-Atlantic, James Beard. Best new chef everywhere. Best restaurant Philadelphia. You're on every list. You're on, every top everything list. You are busy. You've got lots of restaurants.
Yeah, we've got a lot. We've got Israeli barbecue, donuts, and fried chicken.
Fabulous.
So, yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year.
Yeah, all good though.
All great. All very good things.
In
Thank
fact,
you.
last time you were here, I'm still chasing that lamb tartare. That was a fabulous dish, very popular dish.
That was great. Yeah, we're going to do another really popular dish at Zahav, which is the opposite of raw lamb. It's hummus, actually, and fresh bread.
Your hummus at Zahav is world-renowned, I think. It comes out looking like pillows.
Yeah, it's
clouds.
quite light. I mean, it's really, really light, and after today, the secret's going to be out.
I know. Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
I don't know if I am, Anna, to be honest.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is a couple things. We're going to make fresh bread, which is very, very easy to do. Everyone gets freaked out about that. I just want to go over here really quickly. We've got a little bit of dry active yeast with sugar and water. What we're going to do is let this bloom and let this rise and kind of double, all right?
So how long ago did you put that together?
I just threw that together in a second.
Okay.
We're going to go over chickpeas, and then we're going to come back, and hopefully it's going to rise a little bit too, okay? All right, we've also got very important part of hummus, which is chickpeas, right?
The integral part.
Right, exactly. Some would argue that the tahina, the sesame paste, is also, but it depends on what side of the road you live on, you know? All right, so we've got dried chickpeas right here, and then we've got cooked chickpeas right here as well. Most people think that chickpeas come in a salad bar, right? That's where they grow. They don't. So a lot of people also think they grow in cans, which they also don't. And there's a big argument about that as well. Some people think that you only have to get dried chickpeas, and I always say, well, you could probably go get organic chickpeas in a can that are better than dried chickpeas that one can source.
Okay.
We spent 4 years advocating for very good dried chickpeas.
Did you?
I did, and it's taken years off my life, so I would not recommend that to anyone. If you can find great dried chickpeas, that's awesome.
Live and learn.
Yeah, right. What I always do, though, always, and this is very important, is take my dried chickpeas and soak them with baking soda and water overnight. Okay, and the baking soda will release a little bit of the gas, and it'll also get it'll quicken the cooking time, so it'll get nice and tender. And the skins will sort of fall off a little bit easy. You can tell these have been cooked.
Baking soda and water overnight.
Baking soda and water, and then you just change the water and then you boil them. Now you end up with a beautiful...
I love chickpeas.
Exactly, so these are nice and soft. Now these are from Turkey, so they're a little bit tiny, but even the Mexican chickpeas or the Canadian chickpeas will cook the same, all right? So you get a chickpea that is tender, but not watery. Okay, so a lot of people would argue that the tahina is the best part or the most integral part. Now we get our tahina from Turkey or Israel, and it's unhulled, which means it's super nutty.
Okay, can I taste a little bit?
Yeah, get in there.
I would love
that. It's
that.
kind of, honestly, if you have this with date syrup, it's the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich you could have.
This is peanut butter. I'm tasting peanut butter right now.
So really, really good, really healthy, quite rich.
And you said with date butter?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
Wow.
Date puree or even syrup,
That's
molasses is really good. So what we're going to do is actually make a prepared tahina sauce before we make the hummus. A lot of people throw everything in, puree it, and it usually sucks. But what we're going to do is we're going to aerate this tahina, which is going to make it much lighter. And
so is this the secret? Is this why your hummus is so very fluffy? Because I've never seen hummus come out from any other kitchen of yours that is so fluffy.
I think so. I like it really aerated and really light, and I think that is the secret to really good hummus, in my opinion.
And doing it this way,
this is going to be it.
Not putting it all together.
Exactly, exactly. Now what you also get is a really good tahina sauce that can always act as a good sauce for fried fish or any sort of fried item, any sort of meat, anything like that. It gets really, really creamy. So we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of garlic. And what we're going to do is puree this to mellow it. You know when you eat raw garlic accidentally and then 4 hours later you're I cannot kiss anybody because so what this is going to do is actually mellow that. So we're going to run it for a sec.
Because hummus has, garlic is also an integral part of hummus.
It is. Now it's interesting, everybody makes hummus a little bit differently. The hummus in Israel is more about the creaminess of the tahina. It's not garlic lemon like you would with Turkish or Greek hummus,
so
right?
It's not garlic centered,
exactly.
it's tahina centered.
Exactly. So we're going to add a little bit of the raw tahina, touch of cold water.
Okay.
Puree.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We're back with more of today's recipe.
Now look what it's doing. It's getting really nice and light.
Yes.
There's a little ground cumin over there. You want to grab that? cool.
I love
Did you read
earthy
that?
cumin.
Exactly. Now that right there is going to be the basis for our hummus, all right? So we're going to take some of our ground chickpeas, or some of our cooked chickpeas rather.
Okay.
We're just going to throw those bad boys in there.
So these have been soaking overnight, and you cook them in a little bit of water?
In a little bit of water with more baking soda, and that really
Okay.
tenderizes it.
The baking soda then is the key
Definitely.
in both
Now
the
you-
soaking and the cooking.
Yeah, you only want to use, per dry quart of chickpeas, you only want to use about a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'll taste kind of medicinal.
Okay.
Which, we've made that mistake before at Zahav too.
It's all trial and error.
It is,
you know?
exactly. So we're just going to let this go for a while, obviously. But what you can see, it's a bit grainy.
Yes.
We're going to let this run for about 5 more minutes, and it's going to get nice and creamy. All right, now, while this is going, we got back here, boom, we've got our risen yeast, right?
Yes,
okay, so
look at that. And
pretty
amazing,
awesome.
just in a few minutes.
That's it. Now you want to make sure not to use too hot water or
I
too
smell
cold
that
water.
yeast. I love that smell, that yeasty,
It's really awesome.
earthy, warm smell.
Definitely, it's really,
Right?
really good. This dish would go obviously great with cold beer.
Yes.
We are going to add a little bit of all-purpose flour.
Now, what is the name of the bread that we're making?
It's called laffa.
Laffa bread.
Laffa. Now laffa is a type of pita. Pita is a type of bread. So we're going to throw a little bit of pastry flour in there. We've got all-purpose and
AP
pastry
flour.
Exactly. We're going to do a little bit of salt. We make laffa a couple times a day. We make hummus a couple times a day. We should have probably just opened a hummus and laffa restaurant. And we would have
I'm sure you
done
could.
A lot less headaches. There are actually restaurants all over the place in Israel that only serve hummus.
Really?
That's it. They make a batch of hummus, and when they run out, they close the doors.
Okay.
And this is kind of like pizza dough. Really, you want to just mix it until it comes together, okay? So
Sure.
while the dough is mixing, we're actually going to make what is called a Bulgarian salad. Now, when you get salad in Israel, you do not get a huge Caesar salad with like croutons. You get a bunch of little dishes that are sometimes cooked and sometimes raw.
Okay.
This is great because this is nice and fresh, but it's also cooked, which means it can be used for garnishes for fish. You can pop it in the freezer. It'll hold really well.
Now tell us your history with Bulgarian food, because you do have a family history.
I do. Well, my grandmother her family was from Spain. Actually, her last name was Toledo. And they
Okay.
can actually sort of date their history back to the Inquisition. So they go
Wow.
back like to the 1600s.
Wow.
And then they moved to Bulgaria. And then after, in 1948, they moved from Bulgaria to Israel.
To Israel.
So we've got a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
We're just going to throw our peppers in too. And you want to cook this kind of fast. What you want to do is sear it so you get a little bit of the cooked flavor, but you also want to retain some of the integrity because we want that
Sure.
freshness, right?
Okay.
And while that's happening, we're just going to take apart part of the onion and we're just going to throw it right in there too, okay? Really nice and rustic. And this is great because you can make a big batch of this.
Why red onion, chef?
I like red onions, depends on what it is, but this onion is going to be part of the dish. It's not just there as an aromatic, like it's actually going to give a little bit of body, and I find
Okay.
them to be sweet and a bit more palatable when they're eaten kind of raw.
Sure.
You know? We're going to season this with a little bit of black pepper, which is a big Balkan thing. That's how they season just about everything. The black pepper, salt, and then we're also going to do a little bit of coriander. Okay, which is great. You just got to be really careful with things like coriander and cilantro,
love-
otherwise they'll taste like soap. Okay, so it's really nice and floral.
Oh,
right?
yes, that's wonderful.
It's going to brighten up the peppers.
Sweet. It's like a sweet,
Exactly.
really will bring out the sweetness of the peppers, no doubt.
Exactly, and we're actually going to cheat a little bit and add a little bit of sugar as
Okay.
well. Okay? And we're going to let that cook. Now what's going to happen is, you got that natural sweetness from the onions and the peppers, that sugar is going to really make it sort of pop. Here,
Yeah.
get in there. Okay?
Oh, love it.
Which is
Love
awesome,
it.
right? We're going to let that cook. We're going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar. And you can use apple cider vinegar. Rice
Okay.
wine actually would be very good, even though you'd never find that in the Middle Eastern or Mediterranean kitchen.
Red wine
We're-
vinegar you would, though.
Absolutely. We're going to let
Okay.
that cook down. And we're going to add just a touch more salt.
You can smell that sweet, syrupy.
Exactly. Now you also
Beginning.
want to be careful though, because you never want to breathe in the red wine vinegar. It'll totally make you
Yes.
cough. All right, so our dough is done. We're gonna let that rest, and we're gonna let that rise, and we're gonna let this go till it basically doubles in size, and you
Okay.
end up with this.
So you want to put it in a cool. Let me see if I remember the bread
Oh my
baking
gosh,
part of
too many
the
rules,
cookbook.
too many rules,
Cool,
right?
dry place.
Yep.
Covered? Yes. No.
No, well, actually, laffa is cool. You can do laffa at room temperature, which will
Okay.
work out great. You can also keep laffa uncovered. It's going to
Oh.
rise and fall. This is like the workhorse bread. We actually ball this into dough that we roll out. But if you forget to use a tray, the next day you've got these beautiful doughs that you can just bake in the oven. They make like the best English muffins you've ever had in your life.
That's
so this dough can do
wonderful.
absolutely anything. It's
Wow.
really, really good.
Okay.
We're actually going to put a little bit of flour down here. And I was trying to convince everyone here just to let me use the inside of a paper towel.
Yes?
roll. Yeah, that's how.
Oh, you mean
Exactly. Yeah, it's like very street, you know? But,
Very street.
Right. That's what we're all about. So
I
you're
love
just going
it.
to get your hands a little bit wet. And then you want to wipe them off so there's no excess water.
Okay.
And then we're just going to dip in. Pinch it a little bit off. Then really, really quickly, you're going to roll into a little ball like this.
Oh.
And throw it down on the flour.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
You're doing fine. Really good.
So you just form it into a ball,
Just form it into a little ball, right onto the flour,
like mozzarella cheese.
like mozzarella cheese. Yeah, it's like you should
But
do.
mine's not coming out
That's
quite
okay.
like yours.
That's okay. I've been doing this probably a little bit longer than you have. Awesome. So, you see that?
Yes.
Beautiful, right? Now it seals. It's going to rise. Now this only needs a couple minutes to actually do the rising that you need it to. You just wash my hands off.
That's
here.
interesting. So you make this every day in the kitchen.
Yeah, we
at
make this
Zahav.
actually a couple times a day, depending on how busy we are and depending on the weather too. If it's too warm and too hot, it doesn't work out very well. So
Okay.
you have to make it a lot. Now in Israel, in some of the places, they only have a guy that makes bread. That's how serious they take
okay.
it. He just makes bread fresh.
Is this something that you could find? I mean, in the streets, walking through the streets in
Yeah,
Israel.
absolutely. You can find it anywhere. Actually, there's a place in Israel, a street, or it's actually a neighborhood called Hatikva, and it's an old part of Tel Aviv. And there's about a dozen restaurants. And you sit down and place your order, and the server will run down the street to the bakery that only makes laffa and come back with the bread. And they service the entire neighborhood.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy.
That's phenomenal.
So look, we're almost reduced here, right? Which is pretty awesome. We're going to throw in a little bit of whole mint, a little bit of cilantro, okay, and a touch more salt right there. We're just going to let this chill out for a second.
Okay.
And just kind of steep, okay?
It's off the fire.
It's off the fire. Now it's just cooling. Okay, you want to give it a whiff? Cool, right?
Mint just grabs it,
Exactly.
runs with it.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Now, you can do a couple things with this. You can let this chill and eat it as you would. You could puree it or you can chop it. What we're going to do is slide all this nonsense over, and you're going to give this a quick mince while I bake
Excellent.
off bread. So we've got the oven at about 500 degrees. And we've got a saute pan in there, which I think is going to work. This is a Teflon pan, so
Okay.
hopefully it won't stick. We'll see what happens. We're going to take a
So
rolling pin.
how do you do it in the restaurant? Do you have a wood?
We have a wood-burning oven
Wow.
that we actually inherited. It was an Italian restaurant, and
Okay.
so we have this awesome pizza oven that this
What
guy
luck.
from Naples. I know, it was great. This guy from Naples built this beautiful brick oven, and we just we burn it a little bit hotter. We cook it about 800 to 900 degrees.
Okay.
So it's about I timed it actually yesterday. It's about 13 seconds per loaf of bread.
You're
Yeah, it's
13
really.
seconds?
Yeah, it's really
It's
quick.
amazing. Well, you need it. I mean, for the volume that you do there at Zahav.
You do, and there's also something beautiful about this. It's just so fresh. Now, this is where you make the mess.
Yes.
Right? And
Yes.
you just want to whack it out a little bit.
Almost looks like a pizza maker.
Exactly. I
right?
know I should like throw it in the air. But
Yeah.
so we're just going to do this. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Notice that I totally screwed that up. And,
But that's
you know,
okay though, right?
It's fine. It's totally fine.
It's supposed to be more rustic appearance.
Exactly. And
Okay.
also, actually, the differentiation, like the contrast and texture is going to be fun to eat. So we're going
Okay.
to pull this guy out, throw it in,
So right into the pan.
right
there
into the
is-
pan, and we're just going to
Okay.
blast it in the oven.
And again, you've been heating this pan up in this very hot.
I've been heating this
oven.
pan up. Now what you can do, this is a really awesome oven. My oven at home is like a toaster oven that's a little bit bigger. So it wouldn't work, but what I would do is actually broil a sheet tray, like a cookie tray.
Yes.
So it gets super hot, and then once you start baking bread, drop it down to like 450 degrees.
Okay.
Bake, you know?
All right.
And that way you get that optimum heat. Like I said, we cook at about 800 degrees or 900 degrees, which a home oven hopefully would never achieve. So
Sure.
you got to get a little, you got to improvise a little bit, you know?
Oh, well,
and actually,
yeah,
they'll
you-
take woks upside down and cook them over the stove in Israel as well. So you can do it. How's this going? Good?
Yeah, how coarse do you want it? Do you want
I
it?
would go a little bit finer than
You
that.
got it.
And let's throw a little parsley in there too. Cool. Great. Now, while the bread is baking, let's check out our hummus. This hummus has been going for almost 15 minutes in
Okay.
the food processor, and you can see it.
Yes.
It's really, really nice and creamy, right?
Oh, it looks
really
beautiful.
smooth. It
Just-
looks really aerated, and that whipping that tahina has really helped it out. You know?
Look at that. It's so light, creamy. I can't wait to have that.
Yeah, definitely. We've got the pepper salad.
And
Let's
you have
take a look
different
at this
flavors of
bread.
hummus on your menu too. It's a Zahav,
Well,
correct?
we've actually got a couple different styles. We've got Hummus-Tehina, which is that. It's just hummus and sesame paste. We have hummus ful. Ful is actually the word for fava beans. So we stew dried fava beans and put it inside of the hummus.
Instead of the chickpeas?
No, chickpeas
With
as well.
chickpeas.
And then just like hot fava beans inside.
Okay.
And then we've got hummus masabacha. Masabacha is the word in Arabic for swimming. So we actually take our hummus around the bowl, and then we do hot chickpeas with tahina inside of that, which is good. And then we've got actually a Turkish variety, which there's like a part of central Turkey, the dairy quality is so high, they don't use olive oil, they only use butter. So it's like hot butter and garlic, and which is cheating
must be
almost.
outrageous.
I know, it's like French
Oh my God.
hummus, right? It's really, really good. Those are the kinds that we offer at Zahav, and every now and then we'll get some like beautiful local organic mushrooms, and we'll just kind of warm those up and serve those inside as well.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're back with more from the chef's kitchen.
What we're going for is kind of crispy, but also kind of soft. You want that contrast. You want it to crunch, but also be pliable.
Soft inside?
Exactly. Okay. So we're gonna actually throw it back in because I need a second. And then you're gonna try to roll out bread.
Oh, okay.
No pressure,
Okay.
Great. All right, so here, come on over.
Love it.
Okay. You wanna dry your hands off?
Sure.
Okay,
We'd love
great.
to.
So what you're gonna do first is press it down.
This right here.
Exactly. Just make sure
Should I move it or no?
Yeah,
Keep
let's
it right
roll
here?
it over into the flour.
Okay. Press it down like
Press
that?
it down, yep.
I get my hands more floured.
Cool. Great, now flip it, press it down again. Awesome. Now you're just gonna roll it like 3 times in each direction. Beautiful. Okay, now you're gonna take. You're ready, right?
I'm ready.
You're a righty, right?
Yeah,
Righty or
yes,
left?
I'm a
Okay.
righty.
And you're ready. And you're ready to make the
Ready.
bread. So what you're gonna do is just take one side and throw it right onto your hand. Beautiful.
Like that?
Exactly. Now what
Okay.
you're gonna do, trying not to poke a hole through the dough,
Right.
is whack it back and forth, and the dough will start to stretch. Awesome.
Yes, it does start to stretch.
Very
Look
good.
at that.
Very
Right
good.
in your hands.
Cool. So
That's
then what we're gonna do,
interesting.
yeah, you're gonna keep going. Beautiful, and then you're gonna throw it right on this. And like I said, you can use a cookie tray. We're using a Teflon saute pan. You could pretty much use anything. You just wanna make sure it's nice and clean.
Okay.
All right, just slap it onto this. Beautiful.
I wanted to get a nice big.
It's okay. We're gonna throw it in the oven. All right, we're gonna pull this one out.
And look at this one. Look at how it has
it's
really
awesome.
risen beautifully. I
Exactly.
really like the rustic look of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Uneven.
Totally.
Natural.
Exactly. Now this too, if you put this in a towel and keep this warm, this will hold forever. Like you could use it to roll sandwiches later on.
Wow,
if you want.
okay.
So let's go over and
Good
start
to
plating
know.
this guy up, okay?
Is this how you would serve in your restaurant, Zahav?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. We like to serve it, it's family style, so we like to kind of just put it in the middle of the table. You can garnish this however you want. A lot of people use paprika. We've got a little bit of smoked Spanish paprika right here. You can do chopped herbs. You can really do whatever you want. We have some really good organic Israeli olive oil. We're just gonna pour right in the middle. And then if you want to take our pepper salad
Yes.
and just kind of like pile it in the center there. Cool. This is great. This is great. You know, we get super messy.
Yes.
Get flour all
Play
over
with
the
our
place.
hands.
Exactly. And then we eat with our hands. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
So that's beautiful. Let's just.
I love it. You want to keep it like that? You want
I
more?
think it's cool. I think we're all good to
right.
go. Is that enough olive oil for you? Are you
Yes,
good?
it's perfect.
All right, cool. Let's put this up and let's grab the bread. Let's see how your bread is. You excited?
Yeah, I am actually. This
good.
is my first shot at this.
Look at that.
Wow,
Awesome.
mine
Beautiful.
puffed up.
There
Good.
you go. Good.
It's super puffy.
It is super puffy. Oh, it's almost like pita, right?
It's alive.
All right, you got it. I know. So we're gonna let that go for one more second.
Okay.
Great.
Making bread is such a it's an earthy experience.
Oh,
it's
totally.
something that everyone needs to do. It's
You know, it's like honestly something that humans have been doing since
Yes.
forever. So it's nice to be kind of be a part of it.
We are delighted to have some wine from our director, Stephen Horn, has
Awesome.
shared with us a beautiful white wine to go with our meal today.
All right, so I'm getting your bread, your loaf out of the oven, which is
I'm
significantly
proud of my
better than
bread.
mine. I
No,
know.
it's not better
I'm gonna
than
be.
yours.
I know. You should
It's
come to
just
Zahav
different.
and pick up some bread shifts. I think.
I love it.
Get a future. Make
Look
them
how puffy.
off. Really awesome, right? Nice and fresh, very simple. So we're just gonna simply. So when you're in Israel and you want to go eat some hummus with a friend, you say, "Rotzeh lenagev," which means, hey, you want to go wipe some hummus.
Wipe some hummus,
right?
I like that.
Sounds right, totally crazy. So the idea is when you eat the hummus, you kind of like this.
You cup it.
And then you around the side.
And you wipe your hummus.
Exactly. Everybody gets like really dainty and they dip it like it's like cheddar cheese, like cracker dip. It's not about that. Then we eat.
Yes. Good?
Awesome.
Can we toast?
Cheers, pounds.
Yes,
very good.
pounds.
Thank you very much.
This first toast, and then I'm going to wipe my own hummus,
All
right?
There you go.
This looks fantastic.
You're a natural.
That's fabulous.
Awesome. Good job. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. What a wonderful day on the Chef's Kitchen. Always with you, Michael Solomonov.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks so much.
With like cooking in the kitchen, for me, it is like being at home. It's great cooking in this kitchen. Honestly, everybody here is so nice, so accommodating, so much fun. I think we make really, really great food. So thank you very much.